is Picks Central, Barstool's daily picks show, gambling show, sports show, bullshit show. I am Brandon Walker, joined to my immediate right by the very present. Hello, Mr. Ben Mintz.
How are you, Brandon?
I'm average. Thank you for asking. Ben, to my left, from what I understand, maybe, this is just a rumor, maybe he was planning on taking a vacation this week, and because of certain circumstances, he decided that he wanted to have a sit-down. He wanted to face some things head-on. Big Ev is to my left. Hello, Big Ev.
Hello, Brandon.
Are those rumors accurate at all?
They are. I was supposed to leave for vacation Saturday. I'm here. I'm here today. I don't run from things. When I have a problem with somebody or something in general, I face it head on. I'm here.
I'd like to say that's commendable for showing up to work when it's your job to show up to work. That's fantastic. And for when somebody walks in the room that you don't agree with or you don't like, maybe you don't run out of the room. I appreciate that.
I'm here.
I'm not saying that as far as anybody else goes. I'm saying that's what I appreciate about you.
Thank you, Brandon.
And to the far right, much skinnier than we last saw him. Of course, we never saw him when he worked here. His name is Jeff Nadeau. He is back in the building. The big man on campus is now the big man on Pick Central. Sir, welcome to the show.
How are you, Brandon? Nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks
for having me.
I'm good. Well, it was ordained from the top that you're here.
That's correct. You didn't choose that.
Correct. I didn't, but I have no problem with the fact that you are here. I run the plays that the coach calls. The coach has called this play, and you are, in fact, here today, and thank you for being here, buddy.
I want to explain what you made a comment, though. I was never here during my time here.
Correct.
Can I hit that right off the top?
If you want to hit it off the top,
Okay.
we got so many things to get to, like the Mets and the Phillies and everything else. But, yeah, sure, we'll talk about this off the top. Go ahead.
Well, real quick, when I was hired, Brandon, if you knew my contract, you would know. And I'm not going to bring contracts
I don't know
up,
your
but
contract.
I was a road employee. I was not obligated to be here. I was obligated to be in Philly for the streams, blog, create a podcast, which I did. Obviously there was a pandemic going on. I would like to have been here more, but I wasn't here because I didn't have to be here.
Well, Jeff, see, I thought we were going to have this show was going to have a different tone than the one you just set. When you say you weren't here because you didn't have to be
Correct.
here, that's a very interesting thing to say. To me, you no longer work here. And
Correct.
that was by your own choice.
I
okay?
do not. You're right.
But you're here now, and you
Yep.
are trying to get another job here.
Yep.
So if you're trying to get a job somewhere, and the first thing you do is defend yourself by saying, I wasn't here because I didn't have to be here,
Yeah.
how hireable does that sound to you?
Well, it's obviously not ideal to say, but again, that was when we worked the contract out. That's what kind of it was all about. It was a remote contract. I was on a 6-month kind of test and see. We'll see how it goes. I created a podcast. Other circumstances were the reason I left here. If you want me to explain, I'll talk about that.
No,
we don't have to.
No,
but
well, obviously we are going to talk about all of it because you've had beef with people here. You've had beef with people that aren't here, that,
Right.
that sit in that chair normally. So what we'll do is, I'm not going to hold everybody's skirt and just not go into the issues here. You are here today, and I will allow you whatever you want to say. If you came here with a speech, if you came here with a conversation, I would like for you to say whatever you'd like to say.
First of all, I want to make it very clear. The comments made last week by a certain person that sits in this chair are baseless. They never happened. I don't know why they were said. I never and never will stoop to that type of level. I've never put anybody's personal life into things. I've never done any of that stuff. I want to make that very clear. From the start, I don't know where this even starts. People have asked me all the time, how did this start with you and him? I don't know. I'm not aware of how it started. He just hates me for some reason. He said some things. I went off the handle. I called in. Other people that are in this room right now obviously took some shrapnel, and I have done things about them in the past as well. And I will give Ev a lot of credit. Vacation, he's here. That's a stand-up guy for coming in.
Yeah. Well, before you talk anymore, I understand that we have a caller. We have a caller that we're going to go to. We'll start with calls. Go ahead. Oh, it's looks like David in Montauk. Hello, David.
Well, I don't even know if it's a call. I saw a lot of people bailed on the show, or good to see Mincy there. He's not in New Orleans, but I want to hear the show and see the show and hear what's going on. The doo-doo-doo's on the show. I'm a team guy, so I got to be here for it. I'm a rider, obviously, but when the other guys weren't doing it, I didn't want to interrupt Nadu to do. So let him continue, and then I'll just be part of the show. I have some things I'd like to say about it, but Nadu can continue it because I feel like I cut him off unless he was done.
All right, Jeff, you keep going, and then we'll turn to Dave and we'll ask him what he thinks.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said the other day, I called in. I was very pissed off. I was fucking mad. I was seething. I called in. I said what I had to say. I approached the person like a man. I've never seen him. I've never spoke to him. I've never looked at him. I've never met him. But he said some things that were way out of fucking line, and I called in and I called him out for it. I'm a little bit past that now. Obviously, I've slept on it a couple of days. I'm here, and if he were here, I'd tell him the same fucking thing, but he's not here. And I will say to Ev, whether he accepts it or not, I apologize for flying off the handle to him. I was obviously in a different state of mind, and he took some shrapnel. I've done some stuff to him in the past, and I apologize to him for that. But Rico, you see who's not fucking here today? Him. He's scared to death of me. We've talked about that before. It's not about him, though. This is about Pick Central.
Now, wait a minute. Before we get to Dave, so you say it's not about him. Now, when you were here, a lot of your shows seemed to be wink, wink, nudge, nudge towards him. I mean, you had Big Man on Basketball, which was a lot like Bench Mob. You have the Sit Down, okay.
Keep in mind, that show, I've had this name for 12 years.
All right.
I just changed it. It had nothing to do with him. In fact, I'm sure, and I don't know if Dave can back this up, I put this idea out when I first was hired that I wanted to do this. Rico Bosco, up until the day I was hired, never, ever showed his face, ever. I get hired, all of a sudden, wants to show his face, wants to be a part of everything. He's a big basketball handicapper now. He gets a show, and the rest is history. The name shit, I created that. I've had that name. He should have got a different name.
All right, you finished with your opening statement?
For now, yeah. I'm good.
All right, Dave, you heard it. What's up?
Yeah, so, all right, here's my take. First of all, I'm going to be serious now. I love Rico. He's a crazy person, okay? He is. Everyone knows it. Mm-hmm. Now, is Nadu crazy? Mm-hmm. Maybe. They both have done things. Now, where I agree, and I said this in a tweet, because, frankly, I'll go full. If Rico is going to say the shit that he said about Nadu, I feel like he has to say why he is saying that. And when Nadu calls, he has that right. He says slanderous stuff about Jeff. Now, I've seen Nadu sitting here saying I've never seen it. Basically, Rico is obsessed. He has old tweets from you, Jeff, which I'm sure you know existed, which are off color and are not good. Now, do I generally give people a pass for old shit? Sometimes I do. But he has things that he sent me. He's like, I'm not going to work here if this guy's working here. Now, why there's the beef in the first place, why he is fixated on this. Yeah, Rico has these imaginary enemies. I don't know why he made Nadu one. I believe there's enough room for everybody. So as much as I love Rico, his attitude towards Jeff, to me, he's in the wrong. Like, what does Rico care if Jeff works here, if Nadu works here? He shouldn't. But he builds these enemies, and he can't get off of it. Like, once he starts, he just builds it up. And basically, he acts in a way that's unfair. If you're going to trash somebody and say things about somebody, that person should answer the bell when they're called. Why are you saying that? And everybody at Barstool would feel this way. So I thought when Jeff called in, everyone's had Rico's back. That's wrong. Like, you can have his back, but he has to say what his issues with. And then Nadu can deal with what he said in the past, which I've seen it. I don't believe they're screenshotted or anything. But again, people have always said stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I'm on Jeff's side, because Jeff, as he knows, we had a contract originally set to go, and you bailed on it once. Then you came back and we're like, okay, let's give this another try. You came, and then you quit, essentially because Rico, to a degree, forced you out. But I don't agree with what you're saying, Brandon, that he shouldn't dig into this feud. Rico has created the feud, and the feud does get eyeballs as long as he doesn't leave. So I wouldn't have quit if I was Jeff. You just got to roll with the punches. That's the world we've come into.
Real quick, looking back on what happened in February, whenever it was, I made a rash decision. I got to a point where, and I've talked about this with people here, I have no problem with the feud. I'll go with the feud. I don't like Rico. He doesn't like me. But when it starts to seep into going behind people's backs, and if you work with me, you're dead to me, that kind of shit, just not being able to be at certain events with sports books, and that's my thing. Gambling's my thing, and to be shut out because of one person there, because he doesn't like me over some bullshit, it just, for me, it got kind of ridiculous.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question because Dave just presented some information you didn't know. So you asked what you have to back it up. Rico has to back it up when he says these things. And, yeah, I agree. I think you shouldn't be able to say somebody's a racist or a sexist without actually saying what you got. Now, Dave's seen them. I've seen them. Rico's been presenting some old tweets of yours, some tweets from, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I think one from 2013. So now you know what it's based on. What do you think about that?
And this is something that I've commented on probably 10 different times. People that don't like me on Twitter have brought these up. I've put some rap lyric tweets out, and I'm not going to make it that they were rap lyric, but they were. I tweeted them out. They were in poor taste. I've admitted it multiple times. Am I a racist? Absolutely not. And that's ridiculous. I put some tweets out. I made them. I said them.
Yeah.
Looking back, obviously they were in terrible taste.
Dave, anything?
Yeah, and I'd researched that. Obviously, again, Twitter is like people who know me. I don't rule people out on a tweet I see from 2013. So in my experience with Jeff, I haven't seen that. I think he's a unique character. It's an interesting dynamic for sure because as much as I poke fun at Rico, he's been here for a fucking long time. I do like Rico. I try to respect what he wants, and if they're not going to work together. But it does suck if someone's going out of their way, not even to give somebody a chance. I don't necessarily know where that comes from. Like, I don't know why he hates him so much, but he picks people, and he hates them, and he gets fixated on it. But it does suck, and maybe it would eventually go. It's a tough street to go down because I do think, it's hard to find gambling people that I think are interesting. I think they're both. But then again, we go back like Jeff, you thought we were like lying about T-shirt sales.
I do to this day.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's like crazy.
Why the fuck would he lie about T-shirt sales?
I don't think he's lying per se. I think Rico Bosco contacted him because this has happened before with another ex-employee that had a shirt about Rico and it was taken down. It was taken down because he didn't like it. And again, that could be true.
But you think Dave Portnoy is lying about?
He didn't lie. I mean, we had me and Dan, the two biggest guys here. We put an exact deadline.
I feel like I could sell 20 myself, in an hour. Like, I just.
What? You're out of your mind if you think that I would take T-shirt sales down that are making the company money. That would have proven that we need it.
But why take it down within 24? I feel like if it just stays up, people know it's up. They buy it. I get some time to put it out.
Yeah, but T-shirt sales are all the same. The first 24 hours.
I mean, Dave, come on. There's T-shirts here that probably don't sell right away. I mean,
never. T-shirts 100% of the time. T-shirts the day they're promoted, especially me and Dan get behind it. It's the first 24 hours is the now have some stayed up that don't sell. Yeah, but if a T-shirt's up and it does the numbers you do, 100% of the time they don't sell. 100. Listen. I like Rico. I like making the company money more than I like Rico. Like, there's no fucking way I'm taking a T-shirt down that is selling because Rico's upset about it. He had nothing to do with that. And that's the part that you're insane. If you don't get that I would keep the shirt up if it's selling, then you're almost as disconnected from reality as he is.
I think that's probably true. I think you're both the same fucking person, Jeff. I think you and Rico are the same person. Is that crazy?
Yes. I think it's a bit crazy. I would never stoop to some of the levels that he has.
But here's the thing.
I've never sent.
Let me say something. I think you working here and getting the contract that you got, and then quitting, and then waiting 3 weeks and saying, "Oh, my bad, I don't want to quit. I want to come back," and then trying to get yourself back in the Barstool world. That's absolutely something Rico Bosco would do. Does that not sound familiar?
And look, when I first found out about Rico Bosco, way back 6-7 years ago, I did in my head notice some similarities with us, and as we went on, but I wouldn't say there's some things that we're way off on, and I would never do.
Boys, pay attention to the screen. We're about to lose Dave. Let's just make sure we upgrade there. Just move it. That works. All right, Dave. Nadu's here today. We're talking gambling. We're talking all kind of shit. Rico's not here.
Let me ask you something, Brent. I saw the show, and I know everyone likes Rico. I swear to God, I like Rico.
Yeah.
I think he means well. He's unique, but I think we all know he's a little off. Why does everybody hate Nadu? Just because of Rico?
I don't know why guys hate Nadu. I like Rico on a personal level. I don't like the character Rico Bosco. I think this entire thing is just crazy. But you guys manipulate it the right way. You know how to make it work. I don't really know how to do it. But I don't know the answer to that. I don't know why people like Nadu. But I will say this. when he was gone, Nadeau did take shots at Big Ev. He took shots at me. He took shots at Marty.
I took shots at you.
Like Rico has cast you out. Rico's done all these things to you, but you took shots at us.
Okay, I took 1 or 2 shots at you because I saw in certain shows you laughed and said shit about me. So I
will continue to laugh and say shit about you occasionally.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And look, I've always had with you, it's hot and cold. Some nights I like you, some days I don't.
Oh.
I respect your knowledge. I think you're terrific on the air. It's nothing personal with you.
Yeah, and what about Big Ev, Marty? I mean, you talk shit about them?
Marty Mush, I don't know where that came from. I've seen him before. We talked at the gambling house. I think obviously his has a lot to do with his friendship with Rico Bosco. That's fair. He's a good friend. I have no issue there. But to call me a loser is ridiculous. To say the things that he said. And look, I admit some of the things that happened the other day, shrapnel got to those guys, and I guess they're sticking up for the friend. I have no problem with that. But and I said something about Big Ev. I'll not say that. I'll not.
What? So Big Ev, you're there. Congrats for being there. And I feel like I feel like though you're a pretty rational guy, Big Ev. Like you're somebody I talk to, I think's got their head on their shoulders for the most part straight. So like you're like. Why do you hate Nadeau? Do you hate Nadeau? Like, how do you view the feud? I fundamentally have a hard problem, and I don't know whether Nadeau would work at Barstool at this point because everything is going on, but I have a hard time not giving somebody a chance. Granted, he quit, so I don't feel bad if we didn't bring him back. It's like he kind of has not been on. But what is your take on the whole thing?
Okay, so I came here to address that. So the yelling match that happened was me and Jeff have had beef. So I'm going to bring it back to maybe about 9-ish months ago. He went on a little rant on Periscope that ended up getting put on the Viva La Stool, where he absolutely trashed me. We had an exchange back and forth on Twitter. After that, I was like, you know what? This thing is stupid. I reached out to him. I extended my hand, and I said, you know what? This is stupid. You and Rico have a beef. I'm friends with Rico, but me and you, Jeff, we don't really have like this. It's a small patty compared to a big beef with Rico. Let's squash it. I thought
50 burger, no pun intended. Yeah, go.
We had a good. I thought we had a good conversation. I apologized for things I said. He apologized for some things he said. It was all good. Then after that, he reached out to me. Jeff reached out to me. Go on his podcast. I went on it. I was asked publicly and privately, where do you stand on it? You're good friends with Marty. You're good friends with Rico. You squashed me with Jeff. I said, listen. I said what you said. I said my exact quote. I said there was enough room for everyone to succeed here. I'm a company guy. I want people to do well. I'm all for that. My thing was, I was being accused of.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's an all-time pet peeve of mine. Like, I generally don't care if people talk shit about me as long as they're consistent. Like, I'd like it in the face and then behind my back.
And that's why I'm here. And that's why I even said, and another thing, too, that I brought up to Jeff before the show. Me and Rico drove, after the whole hype circle and all that thing happened, me and Rico drove down to Philly for a live stream and a college football Saturday together. I said this to him. He would attest to it in the car, just me and him. I said, Rico, I said, not liking somebody is one thing. I was like, being a grown man and fucking with another grown man's ability to make money, make a living, that's too far. That's a problem. I said that to him. I'm a rational guy. Even in a time of not liking Jeff Nadeau, I still was like, listen, you can hate the guy, whatever. I was like, don't fuck with someone's ability to make money, try to make a living. He's trying to put a roof over his head, put food on the table. I said that from day one. And even this week, in this past, on Friday, we talked about it. I was like, Rico, I was like, you can't just call someone a racist and not talk about it. And two, I said this too. I was like, all the people that he's walked out that have come on the show, Nadeau, Cons, Chaps, all these people, I said it. I was like, if you look these people in the eye, even if you didn't even make amends or build a relationship, if you just looked in the eye of the ball and said, fuck you, I don't like you, you would have got way more respect than just storming out every time. I said that to his face.
Yep.
I'm here right now. I'm saying everything. I'm in the same room with Jeff, and I'm saying all this. I'm not hiding from nothing. I'm not afraid of that. Like, I'm here to face it head on. That's it.
Let me ask you a question, Dave. Let's say Jeff Nadeau's trying to get a job back at Barstool, right? A job that he already had. But if you hired him, do you want him? I mean, is it in your best interest for this beef to continue, or do you want him to squash the beef and figure out other things to do?
Yeah, impossible. Like, people think we create
the beef will never stop.
Yeah, well, it won't with Rico. It won't now. You know, I really don't know. I mean, it is interesting. I don't want to, as crazy as people think, it gets to a point. It's like, we're not trying to torture Rico, but he should be able to do his stuff without it interfering with Nadeau. The facts are, like, when we got interested in Nadeau, I think Big Cat actually showed me Nadeau first. Yeah. And he's like, look at this guy. And, you know, as part of it, which I think the news obviously lost weight, but he has a look about him that is totally unique, right? And it kind of looks like a gambling, like a tout guy. He's talking college basketball. He knows his shit. And we were looking, this is probably early Penn, where like we need gambling figures. It had nothing to do with Rico. Like he wasn't even a part of it. It's like, we just need more people. And he seemed like a unique, interesting cat. And that's why we reached out. I still think he is. Like, I still think he watches, he knows college basketball, all these teams, not even records, but he's deep in it. He was doing these periscopes talking about it. I was interested in it strictly like we need gambling content. Now, things got sideways because of this beef, but I still am. Now, do I think Jeff could have pivoted and still done a lot of shit?
Yeah.
Without Rico, and we would still post it? Yeah, but, you know, he didn't. I mean, I saw you say that, Brandon. You have an opportunity. He had an opportunity, and I think I don't know whether it would change, but Rico just got him off tilt and squeezed him out.
Can I say something with that, though?
Yeah.
With big men on basketball, okay, this is a prime example. One of the individuals that runs the sportsbook account never.
Say their name. Say their fucking name.
Jack McCarthy.
Okay. Not
once, ever posted my show. Ever. I'm a gambler. I work here. I have a show. I don't have an issue with a beef. I will have a beef. I'll never make up with him, ever. But I will never affect him. I'm not going to go over to his house for barbecues. That's never going to happen. I just want to be able to work, do my thing, not be fucked with, and have
but Jeff, the only thing I'd say to that, and if it's true, fine, it could be, is, which I don't think you get, whether it be the T-shirts, whether it be your podcast, like Dan and I, whether it was in jest or not, and I know even Gaz, who does a lot of his accounts, we would retweet it. Yeah. We would talk about it. And that's more retweeting and more publicity.
Well, and you're
99% of our
No, you're totally right. At the beginning, the thing, you know, it did super well. I was in the top 10, you know, above Bench Mob at one point. So for sure at the beginning. And look, I'm not complaining. I don't want to sit here and complain that I didn't get certain things. All I want to do is I want to put it on record.
That is what you just did.
I know.
All right.
But and the flip side to that is, and this is the truth, if you were delivering numbers that I saw, and maybe the sit down, which is a different thing, or the T-shirts, like there's no way I'm letting Rico get rid of you, or force. If it's like the hand, it's like you get rid of, or you quit. But if you're like, I want to come back, it's like, oh, he's delivering these numbers, we need it back. Trust me, I would take you back.
The sit down on itself is a monster. Okay, on my own, I've not. And that's not even gambling. That's something totally different at this point. He wouldn't even be involved. So yeah, I can do it. That's what I want to talk about down the road, the sit down. But that's another conversation.
All right, Dave, you hanging out the whole hour or what? Dave, okay, all right. I see. Hit this ad real quick, Ben Mintz.
All right, Showtime pay-per-view and Most Valuable Promotions presents Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, a 5-fight pay-per-view event in Jake Paul's hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. The professional boxing card will take place on Sunday, August 29th. The action-packed pay-per-view telecast will be produced and distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View, beginning live at a special time of 8 p.m. Eastern. The main event will feature renowned content creator and undefeated pro boxer Jake the Problem Child Paul and former UFC champion Tyron the Chosen One Woodley. Tickets are on sale now and can be purchased at RocketMortgageFieldhouse.com. Order now. Go to the Showtime app or Showtime.com/pay-per-view and watch the event live on any supported device. The event is also available via all major cable, satellite, and telco pay-per-view providers for $59.99.
What a weekend of fights that is. With you'll have Rough and Rowdy August 27th, and you'll have the Woodley-Paul fight August 29th. Before we go any further, though, I got to tell you, Colorado, if you can hear me, Colorado Springs, Boulder, Aspen, Breckenridge, Denver,
Blackhawk,
Pueblo, Blackhawk, Barstool Sportsbook app live in Colorado today. It's right around this hour. It should be going live. You go ahead and deposit. Go ahead and get ready. If you deposit $10, at least $10, use code YABO, Y-A-B-O. You get 4 free $25 bets on Thursday night. That is, I believe, the BEC, Davey Day Night Parlay, the Big Yabo, and Big Cats 5x5. So those are all great payouts. 4 $25 bets, just depositing $10 right now. And hey, by the way, that's for Colorado, but if you're in Michigan or Indiana or Illinois or Pennsylvania and you've never deposited, you've never joined, you join up right now, use code YABO, that's available to you as well. So right there, boom, we're in Colorado. Virginia tomorrow. Colorado's a beautiful state. Virginia's a fantastic state. We're coming to states all across the country very, very soon. I don't know. So I guess we don't have Dave anymore.
Yeah, he was all set.
He was good.
Yep.
All right. So there you go. That's Dave. That was fun. Good stuff. He was all set. I love that answer. Meaning he was just tired of doing it. All right. So Jeff, you I don't know. Where do you think it stands with you and Dave right now?
We need to have a sit down. We need to speak, face to face. Obviously, the beef's never going to end. It needs to just get to a point where I can at least just be here.
Yeah.
I don't need to have talk with him every day, have lunch.
So you're going to leave with the fact that you fucked up by quitting, right?
Yeah.
Like you were here, you had an opportunity.
About 2 weeks after, I realized, and I remember at the time, Roan said, maybe you should, think about it a little bit. Don't just do so. That's my issue, Brandon. I do a lot of things in jest. I just run at it right away. I don't think sometimes about it. And I probably could have made it work here.
Well, that's what I want to hear from my gamblers.
I think ultimately, look, I wish I would have thought about it a bit more. The sit down, which, I started, I wish I kind of would have started here and I could have all put it all together. But yeah, looking back.
All right. Fair enough. So we're here.
That's my only comment toward. And I'll say this: Rico is. I've gone on Jeff's podcast and stuff. Rico's never blocked anything. He's been cool about it on the front with me. But that's the one thing, Jeff, that I know you regret the quitting because, man, millions of people would kill for a job here. And so I know I'm not trying to pile on you, but that's the only part I think.
Well,
can't take it for granted.
Here's my stance on Rico Bosco. You want it? You probably don't. I don't give a shit.
I would love to hear it.
So here's my stance. Rico is fucking insane. He's crazy. He's worked himself into a job here for 8 years, 3 presidencies. He is a made man here, and all he has to really do is do his stuff. It's entertaining. It's funny. He's got great entertainment value. I'll watch anything he's on. But he's fucking crazy. So when people like you and me, because he tried it with me, I just let it go. He called me a redneck. He called me this. I just let it go. I had bigger fish to fry than Rico Bosco. I feel like that's the way you do it at first, and then he just says, he looks around and says, oh, Dave and them like him, so I'm going to like him too. That's what he's doing with these girls, right. Megan making money and Kelly in Vegas.
It's always been me. I've always been
Well, it was Blackjack and LaDuca too. He got them out. But he's fucking crazy, but he is entertaining as shit, and as long as he's here, I think the product is better and everything's better, especially this show. I think it's better. That being said, if you get brought back into the fold, you'll have a role here with us too. Because I'm not gonna judge or do my show based on his menstruating every fucking week over whoever hurt his feelings. He can work that out on his own time.
I would, and this is another thing that I did do multiple times. I tried to extend my hand to him multiple times. I tried to end it. I tried to be the bigger guy. I tried to do something for charity with him through one episode of the Men of Honor podcast one time. He didn't want to do it. I've tried to bend the knee a little bit. It doesn't get anywhere with him. I'd sit here and do content with him if he was here right now.
But you know what, Jeff? You know what? The Rico also could have been the best thing that ever happened to you. And he probably is right now.
That
because
could be true.
It is true. The only reason you're here today is it's Dave fucking with Rico.
I hear you.
You could exist in a world where you are used as their remote control to turn him on and off.
But you know what, man? Any man wants to be made on what he's able to do. And that's true. I'm here for that reason today. But if I come back, and if that's my way back, so be it. But when I come back, I'm going to go back to doing big men on basketball. I want to bring the sit down. If the sit down was here, it would do gigantic. People love that niche. He's great. I tried to get him on. Ben, why didn't you do the show with me? Be real.
I just didn't.
Rico didn't reach out to you?
No, it just wasn't It wasn't a Barstool podcast as well.
I worked here.
No, but it wasn't an official one. It was the main. I mean, I still like to come on. I told you I would.
I was a little worried behind the scenes.
No, there was no. It had nothing to do with Rico. I mean, Rico, like I said, I'll openly say this. When I've gone on stuff with you, he's been super cool about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's no negative, nothing like that. AF'd it.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying, Rico, like when you went on to do stuff.
Well, no,
Rico,
but I don't. But that's what I said at the beginning. I didn't ask Rico permission for a fucking thing. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need to ask. Rico's a good friend of mine. I don't need to ask his permission to do a show or not do a show. And that's the whole thing that annoyed me about getting called a Rico yes man by Jeff on the call, and then people on Twitter were saying that too. Because I was like, if I'm such a yes man, why did I reach out to Squash the Beef, do his podcast, and publicly say I was rooting for him? I was like. If I was such a Rico yes man, I wouldn't have done any of those things. I did all those things on my own volition because that's just the kind of guy I am, and that's how I genuinely felt.
I was completely out of line with my behavior towards him. I've told him that. I stand by it. It was a fucking weasel move. I got in the mud too deep. Some of this stuff really just with him just seeps into other people. I apologize to Big Ev, and if Marty was here, I'd tell him the same. You won't hear nothing from me on the back end. I apologize for that.
No, and I accepted. Jeff apologized to me when he walked in. He can attest. I accepted it right away. I'm not like a if you will extend your hand and reach out to me and apologize, I will accept it. I don't know if we're gonna be best friends going forward, but I'll have no I'm not gonna sit here and have ill will and wish bad on him or anything. I really haven't done that at all, and I not really plan on doing that.
Well, that's fucking beautiful. Let's hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and suck each other's dicks. Okay, Nadu, as interesting as this has all been, and it just hasn't been, as fun as it is, you are here now. My question to you is, and I was going to ask Dave before Dave just decided, 20 minutes was fine for him. Let's say you get hired tomorrow. What the fuck you bringing to the table?
So I gamble on everything, really outside of baseball. I do a little baseball.
College football is coming, baby.
Yes, it is. And I got to play for a couple plays for week 1.
Do
I
you?
got a future. I'm very high on the Barstool Sports.
Well, fuck that right now. Let's
Yeah.
talk that. Do some gambling
Yeah.
real quick. Give me 2 week 1 lines and a future from college football.
Okay, so future right out of the gate, you can bet it right now on Barstool Sportsbook. Western Kentucky to win Conference USA, 550 plus 550. Last year, this was a bad football team.
Terrible.
Okay, Tyson Helton in his 3rd year now. This defense actually was quite good, though. They only gave up about 25 points a game. Last year, they couldn't move the ball in any circumstance. They bring in a quarterback, Bailey Zappi. Okay, I watched this kid a couple of times, played at Houston Baptist. If you know anything about that offense, Vic Shealy, they run this really hyper-speed, air raid offense. He threw for almost 600 yards against Texas Tech. They lost that game by 2. Houston Baptist. He comes over. He brings his top 3 receivers from Houston Baptist and the offensive coordinator. I think this has shades, this offense, of a couple of years ago. 2014 is the worst beat I've ever
Hold
had.
on, can I just read a chat?
Yeah.
It
Go ahead.
was Western Kentucky. Can
Yes.
I just read a chat?
Yes.
DJ Pooh Kid says, Memphis is winning the college conference USA. You are a fraud. That's how stupid some of the chat boys are. They think Memphis is winning Conference USA. What a stupid fucking idiot that guy is. Continue.
Wow.
Yeah, Bahamas Bowl.
Yes.
That's
it
what
was
you're
the-
about to talk about.
It was the worst beat I've ever had. They had a quarterback, Brandon Dowdy.
Yeah.
That offense
I
was
remember.
terrific.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were really good.
I think it was Jeff Brom's last year there. He leaves. I think this offense could kind of shade that group. I think they're going to be really good. They don't have a very tough schedule, particularly in conference. They get Florida Atlantic at home. They don't play UAB or La Tech. I think they're a team that could get to the title game, and I think they can win it. I think they're a really good play at plus 550. They were actually 10-1 at one point.
They
I
had
think it just go ahead.
I was just saying their program is really good with Brom and Petrino. The Mike Sanford hire completely.
Yes.
I mean, he's awful. He's Minnesota's
And now
OC
Helton-
No, but Helton's trying to get him
Yeah.
back.
I
Sanford
think-
crushed him.
I think it just dawned on me why Rico may hate you, and I think it's on your shirt. You have is that an Italian word with the definition of about being a man of honor on your shirt?
Correct.
You
So it's
accidentally
omerta.
chose that one today. So
Yeah.
I think I just realized that Rico spends all this time building this fake Italian persona, and I
Well-
think he just built you.
Well, I
You're just
wanna-
a fat gambling Italian.
Well,
That's what he wants to be.
I will make this very clear. I am not an Italian.
Oh, you're not?
I'm from Albania, but
Excuse me, then I apologize.
all good. Very close. Listen, I've acted the same way my whole life. This is who I am. He can act how he acts. That's his thing. I stand by this phrase in my shirt. Do I talk shit? Do we all do that? Yeah, but there are certain things that you just don't do as a man, and the things he does, I can't stand behind, and this is important.
So Dave talked about it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you knew it, and I'm sure Big Ev knew it. I knew it. I'd seen it last week. So when Rico called you a racist and a woman hater, right?
He called me Bill Cosby. Actually, he connected me to that.
Bill Cosby's rich. Anyway,
He is.
he called you a woman hater and a racist, and the basis was he had those old tweets from 2013,
I don't
which were
remember-
clearly lyrics. And I want to say this, and I had some Rico writers DM me last week, and they DM me and said, "Oh, you're defending this," and they showed me the tweets in question. I don't give a fuck about what any human being tweeted in 2013. It can be the word. I don't give a fuck what they use their 140 characters for. If you're going 8 years in the past and taking a tweet out of context in order to cancel somebody, in order to say somebody's a racist, or in order to say something about their character, A, that person is at 8 years to fix whatever's going on, and B, that's just 8 years of patheticness from you. No, you can't ever use 8-year-old tweets to defame somebody, and I completely stand against that whole thing, because that's what people do to us. That's what people do to Big F or me if we ever get in trouble, or Dave or Big F. That's what they do to us. They go 9 or 10 years back, take a joke out of context, and say, look how terrible these people are. Yeah. And that's the entire basis for Rico saying you're a racist and a sexist. And I thought that was complete bullshit.
I don't look, the sexist thing, I don't know where that came from. I don't know where the Bill Cosby. Frankly, I didn't understand it when he said it. I don't understand it now. Tweets from 7-8 years ago. We're totally different people. What was I? I was 24, 23.
You're 32?
Yeah.
I had you no younger than 50.
Just turned 32.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Week 1. Here's a week 1. You'll like this, Ben. Man.
Oh, wait. Hold on. What are you guys telling me? That we have a caller? Okay. Go ahead, caller. Whoever it is.
Can you hear me, Brandon?
I got you. That's Martin J. Archibald Bartholomew Mush. Hello, Martin.
How we doing, boys?
Good.
I wanted to call in. I would have been there if I wasn't on the road, if I'm about to film something, but I need to let everyone know that everything I've always went back at Jeff for has nothing to do with Rico. Rico's not my fucking dad. I can do whatever I want. The second thing is, I feel like me and Jeff, I've told Jeff, like, I knew, like, he knows so much about college basketball. I feel like I've told you that, like, 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And then, because I know me. Like, I watch, I gamble. I know I'm not that knowledgeable in it. But the thing with you say my show sucks all the time, but then you're like, oh, it's all in good fun. We're kind of not, like, the best of friends where we're like, oh, me and you could kind of just talk shit about each other all the time. And I'll be like, oh, it's okay. And like you say, that Big Cat gets our guests. Meanwhile, I'm getting the guests. And, yeah, he's got us. So,
listen, Marty, I'll be very upfront and honest. That's what I'm going to do on this show today. I think I look at your show and I say, wow, I wish I could do that. Honestly, that's from the heart. I that's great. I'm happy for you guys. Ultimately, I think you mostly took a lot of yesterday or whatever that was. You as well. We've had good conversation in the past. I apologize for the things I said about you as well. I shouldn't be like that.
There you go.
See, Jeff, that was nice.
Listen,
that was beautiful.
I always enjoy seeing you, man. When we were at Philly House, we always had good combos. I think you know a lot more about gambling than you lead on, and maybe you don't, but I respect you and I apologize.
All right. See, that's all we had to do, I feel like, because, yeah, of course, you take shots because it gets to Rico. I understand. It's a fuck you guys. Your whole shit is crazy. I can't even keep up with it, but you know what?
But it shouldn't seep into other people's friendships, ultimately. You're a good friend for standing up, and I should respect that you do that.
Marty, thank you.
I mean, that was good stuff, boys.
Any good? You got a good pick?
What?
You got a pick?
Yeah, I got the Yankees -1.5.
Of course.
It's a day that ends in Y, boys.
All right, appreciate it, Marty. We got his picks on the board. It's Yankees -1.5, Twins money line, and Indians money line.
Yeah, I like the Twins better than the Indians today. But yeah, good. Have a good show, boys. I'll see you
Wednesday.
Thanks,
Marty.
All right, appreciate it. All right, we hit you another ad.
No, they were the same.
We have 2 sheets of the same ad.
Yeah, we got 2 sheets of the Showtime.
Y'all printed out 2 sheets with 1 ad on it. 3 sheets, all with the same ad. Fantastic. Good stuff.
It's going to be a hell of a fight, though.
Hell of a fucking fight. What a fight that's going to be.
Can't wait for that.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do picks because we are competing for some cash in the Barstool Sportsbook app. If we can get callers, we can put the number on there. Are callers out today? Stephanie, you want to pay attention a little bit? Callers are no callers. No callers. Okay. When Za's there, we have callers. So apparently
I really wanted callers. Sad.
It means you're half the man that Za is, which makes you a quarter of the man that I am. Okay. It is picks. We can do it right now. I don't know who's leading, but did you come? Did you come?
Smitty's leading. Smitty's leading.
That's fine. I don't give a fuck about Smitty. Did you come with picks, Nadu?
I do. I've got football though. Listen. I like a summer league game today. I'm waiting. I'm gonna hope to get some lines at Barstool Sports.
You know what? You're the guest. Fire off every pick that you brought.
Yeah. So today the Sixers, and again, I want to kind of justify this because people just said it's a homer pick. The Dallas Mavericks summer league roster is terrible. They have one player I think that'll even sniff minutes in the NBA, Tyrell Terry. Outside of that, this roster fucking sucks. The Sixers have a pretty damn good summer league. They've got kids that have played at the next level. They played in the NBA, and they've actually done some things in the NBA. Paul Reed, Isaiah Joe, Tyrese Maxey. I think Springer, Basie, Petrushev, all those guys. I think this is a good basketball team. I think they're going to go deep in this. I think -4 is a pretty good bet. I'm trying and waiting for some lines on Barstool Sportsbook. Hopefully we get them.
Okay, so there's your summer league pick. What about your week 1 college football pick?
Week 1.
I'm definitely excited to hear this.
Yeah.
I don't want you to give away mine because I'm going to blog these later. But go ahead, just do it. Just fucking do
I
it.
really like Ole Miss -9. I bet it at 8.5, but I'll bet it at 9. Anything under 10, I'm very in on. I wouldn't want to go above 10 though. I think they're going to put up a lot of points against this bad Louisville defense. This is a shit defense. It has been for years. I don't know what Malik Cunningham's going to be there. I don't know what that team is. I think they struck gold, obviously, a couple of years ago with Lamar Jackson. But I think on that fast Atlanta turf, I think there's a 50-piece for Ole Miss. I think Matt Corral is a big game. I don't know if they're going to get a ton of stops, but I think they do enough in the fourth quarter to kind of pull away and win by double digits. I think Louisville is bad.
Ole Miss is going to beat the shit out of them.
Louisville's horrible.
I agree. They're going to beat the shit out of them, and Ole Miss is going to be a great over bet this year. The defense still trash. The offense one of the best in the country. So, and your last
Totals
one?
will be high though.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think it's like a 48-34 type of game, something like that.
I think it'd be more like 56. Yeah, but you're high enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your last one?
I also like Georgia Tech. This is kind of flying under the radar. I think Georgia Tech's going to have a pretty solid football team this year. Jeff Collins, 3rd year. Jeff Sims made some mistakes last year, but we have to remember
He was a freshman.
Yeah, that offensive line was 121st in sacks allowed. Just can't do that. They went out and got a kid from Norfolk State, who's actually a really good offensive lineman, kid from Vanderbilt, really solidified that group up front. I think they're really good offensively. I think he's better as a passer, Sims, this year. And on defense, I think they're actually pretty solid. I think they went out and I think they bring back 8 guys. I think Northern Illinois is really bad. I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the MAC. I don't know what Rocky Lombardi is going to be there. I don't think he's going to have any success. That's a really bad team. They're not a team that gets stops anymore like they used to. Once Rod Carey left, Northern Illinois is not – they're not – Jordan Lynch ain't walking through the door anytime soon. So I'm going to lay 17.5 with Georgia Tech. I think they kind of use their athleticism, just all that kind of stuff to pull away.
All right, let's do some picks. We'll start with Big Ev. We'll go left to right. Mence, I got to say one thing. Megan losing money is terrible. She is the worst. She's awful. She's way back there in 7th place. That's embarrassing.
-4 units, though. I've seen worse.
4 units. It's pretty rough.
No, she's
on this show,
definitely
I've seen way worse.
She's terrible.
She's definitely cold start, but I've seen her win. So.
Megan making mistakes.
Hey,
All
I've
right.
seen her make some runs before she got here.
All right. Well, hopefully she brings it up soon because we will have to come up with the last place thing for somebody to do this month. So, Big Ev, go ahead.
All right, just 3 plays today. I got the Indians money line at home. I believe they're plus 155 dogs. I'm also on the over in that same game. The Reds have been much better on the road than they started in the year. Their bats have definitely been hot, but Luis Castillo has been one of the best over pitchers in baseball, so I like that over. And then I also like the White Sox -1.5 today. I think they've caught something now. They got Jimenez back. Give me the White Sox.
Calling somebody the best over pitcher in baseball is such
he's one of them.
That's such an insult, though. You're the best over pitcher.
Ryan Yarbrough is one of them. I keep him. Castillo's been one of them.
I go completely different from you guys on baseball today. But here's the thing. I got a couple of NFL picks because I want to get ahead of this thing. I wanted to do a couple as we're launching a couple of sports books. We're launching one in Colorado today. Virginia, we're coming tomorrow. So if you're in Winchester or Harrisonburg or Roanoke or any of those towns.
You love flexing those towns.
I love.
So let me ask an honest question. Do you
Richmond?
Like when we're coming to these states, do you just sit there and just look at all these towns?
Well, no, I for those tweets I do. But usually, just to get my brain going, sometimes I'll either play a Sporkle quiz or sometimes I'll just try to write 10 cities per state just to get my brain going and stuff. I don't take like Adderall or anything.
You've been spending too much time with KB and Nick.
No, that's what I do. That's what I've always done that. I'll write out like Iowa, Davenport, Cedar Rapids, all that shit. I don't know. It's a nerdy thing.
No
but
one likes to flex a small town more than Kyle Bauer.
He does, yeah.
Maybe him.
He is elite.
He likes small town. Ben Mintz likes small towns too.
But KB will be talking about like strip malls in Idaho.
That's true.
All right, so I'll give my baseball picks. Brewers Cubs under 9. Brewers, offense is what it is, but that pitching staff's just so good. The Cubs offense just not what it's been. Cubs Brewers under 9. I got Reds -1.5 over the Indians, and then I love this on the Sportsbook app. Castellanos home run plus Reds money line. They're facing a left-hander tonight. I wanted to do Votto because he's been red hot, but facing the left-hander, I just wanted to go away from that. So I'm going with Castellanos homer and Reds money line plus 500. If you believe that the Reds are going to win like I do, it's just a nice little bonus to give yourself. I don't know, put 20 on it to win 100. Put whatever you want. And here's my NFL bets. Matthew Stafford, this was actually I think the chat boys gave me this one last week. I can't tell you which chat boy it was, but shout out to him. Matthew Stafford to lead the NFL in passing yards is plus 1,000 on the sportsbook right now. And with the upgraded receivers he's going to have, with the fact that Cam Akers is out, they're going to be throwing a lot. I love that. And this is the one I love the most. I saw it this morning. Zach Wilson to lead the NFL in interceptions plus 800. Wow. Jameis is going to have a much better system around him. Plus, Jameis had the 30 interception season, but other than that, he's never thrown more than 18, which is a lot, but it's not lead the NFL every year a lot. Zach Wilson is going to make a lot of mistakes. If you look at his stat splits last year between playing winning teams and bad teams, he was elite against bad teams. He was only okay against winning teams. Think of Coastal Carolina. His numbers just weren't as good when he didn't have the huge talent advantage. He won't have any talent advantage this year, and they're going to play him. They're not playing anybody else. They're going to ride with that guy. They're going to let Zach Wilson start, and he's going to be, for better or worse, he's going to learn on the job. He'll play 16, 17 games, and he'll lead the NFL in interceptions as plus 800. He's not the leading favorite. I think he's third or fourth on the sports book, but I love him to lead the NFL interceptions. Zach Wilson had one INT last year, says the chat boys. Yes, playing against Louisiana Tech, he had one INT. The motherfucker ain't playing Louisiana Tech this year. He's going to be playing Buffalo, good secondary. New England, good defense. Miami, good defense. He's going to play them 6 times. Thank you. I'm going with.
It's a really good play. Actually.
I'm going with. It is a great play, Jeff Nadeau. I'm a great fucking.
I like him. I when you kind of break it down like that, it makes a lot of sense.
All right, let's go.
I got the Reds laying the 1.5 because Cleveland's throwing a guy with like an 80 ERA. Milwaukee by 1.5 in at Chicago. I'm also going under 3.5 Cubs runs. Fading the Cubs really hard right now, and I got the Padres laying a 1.5 at home against the Marlins, so a lot of chalk. But I do like laying the 1.5 to keep the juice down.
Let's see, chat boys. He's going to throw 20 INT after throwing 15 in 3 years at BYU. Okay, BYU. DJ2 is the dumbest motherfucker we got in the chat. He's the stupidest person we got.
I mean, it's fucking BYU.
I think he's the Minifan that called in. That's how fucking stupid he is. Holler at me, chat boys. All right, what else? So we still got a lot. I was going to do the last 10 minutes callers that they could talk to Jeff Nadeau, but unfortunately, thank you, Pete. We don't have callers today.
Do you remember who was the favorite? I was trying to find it. Do you remember who was the favorite to lead the league in interceptions? Is it Jameis?
Oh, fuck. It's not Jameis. It was somebody else. Oh, Jared Goff, maybe? It's either Jared Goff or Jameis.
Oh, yeah.
They're very, very high up there. Tua's up there.
Okay.
And then it's rookies. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Sam Darnold, Ryan Fitzpatrick, which Sam Darnold, I just don't see it.
Darnold's going to be chunking it though.
Zach Wilson plus 800, Jared Goff plus 900. It's an interesting bet, isn't it?
That's why I was just trying to think about who I would. Zach Wilson, obviously, I don't think he's a
because Roethlisberger will be throwing it a lot. Jameis will be throwing it a lot. And then Daniel Jones hasn't turned the corner yet.
What about Fitzpatrick?
I just don't know if they're going to throw it enough. I just
feel like with their defense on offense, they're going to play so safe. Try to rely on the run game.
The Goff Detroit situation, they're going to be bad, and then Galladay's gone. Their weapons are bad other than Hawkinson.
That's what with DJ. His problem is more he fumbles a lot. He doesn't as much throw the picks. Maybe lead the league in turnovers. DJ would be a good bet, to be honest. But
I guess I'll just do chat boys. Brandon, UCF over 9.5 wins. I don't love Malzahn.
What do you think of Gabriel with Malzahn?
I love Gabriel, but it's just he's
like the fit.
He's a pocket passer, and Malzahn has never fit with pocket passers ever. He's tried to force it before. He tried to force it with Bo Nix. I don't know why he chose Bo Nix over Joey Gatewood 2 years ago, but it just didn't work. Malzahn needs the athletic quarterback. He needs the running threat from the quarterback to run his offense. And Dylan Gabriel's probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country. I just don't love the fit, but talent-wise, they're going to be better than a lot of teams on their schedule. I think they play at Cincinnati, and I know they host. I believe they host Memphis. I don't know. I would say under for UCF if I had to bet it, but I wouldn't bet it. That's a stay away from me.
You made a comment. I think you did. Did I kind of read between the lines and you said you thought Oklahoma could be the best team in the country?
I do think Oklahoma could be the best team in the country.
I have to agree. Defensively, they're going to be really
People
good.
have to get over their preconceived notions
right.
about because Oklahoma's been trash every time they got in the playoff.
Exactly.
They've embarrassed themselves every time they got in the playoff.
Got to put that behind.
Well, guess who else embarrassed themselves every time they got to a moment before they broke through? Clemson.
Yeah.
Remember when Clemsoning was a thing? I think I say this all the time. It was a thing, right? But then they broke through. Bam. Oklahoma has one of the best pass rushers in the country. Their defense will be top 15, top 20 in the country. Their offense will be elite, as it always is. And Spencer Rattler, that's the one question mark to me. Can he be an elite quarterback that can beat a playoff team? He's good.
The guy you won over the other two at Clemson and
Oh, I don't know. I like Ujalele.
I think Uiagalelei is going to be great.
Really?
I do agree with you on the. See, if you gave me Ohio State's quarterback situation, Clemson,
it's the best
Oklahoma or Bama, I'd take Oklahoma's
Yeah.
quarterback situation for sure because they're the only one that has a proven guy.
Agreed.
I would take Ugalele over that.
I would
and that's
too.
me,
I
with my
really
Ohio
like
State
him too.
bias. I would take if you gave me any one guy, I would take Ugalele.
Uiagalelei played 2 games. They averaged 448 yards a game. They scored 37 points a game, and he played 2 pretty good teams, Notre Dame and Boston College. So they absolutely are going to pick up where they left off. Here's the problem with Uiagalelei and Clemson. They got Justin Ross back, but otherwise they don't have a lot of explosiveness at receiver that they always have. They're replacing ETN, and you're replacing an offensive line as well. You're replacing several pieces up there. So the pieces around Uiagalelei aren't as strong as what Lawrence had, but I do believe the quarterback. Boy, I got goosebumps talking college football.
I know you love it, Brandon. I love anytime
I don't
college
get
football gets mentioned, your energy. I love it.
I don't get to do this as much.
Couple weeks away.
Yeah, we're right there. So August 28th, right? Week
Less than
0.
3 weeks till week 0.
Oh,
By the
boy.
way, that Illinois first game out of the shoot, I think they're going to be decent. 3.5 wins is too low.
You think so?
That schedule is got 5 wins on it to me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Brandon Peters, is that a quarterback you get excited about?
No,
For sure
but I
not.
think Bielema's obviously a run guy.
Don't you think it takes Bielema for what he wants to do? He has to get big, physical offensive linemen.
Yeah.
He has to get tough running
It
backs.
takes some time,
It
for
takes
sure.
some time. Can he win 4 games in year
They
1?
have had some good running backs, though, there the last couple of years. Some kids that can really power it down the middle, just kind of that power running game. But you're right. That's going to take some time. But their schedules, I don't have it in front of me, but I was looking
Well, they
at
open
it.
with Nebraska
Yeah,
at home.
which is a winnable game.
Yeah, then they keep going. Sorry.
Who else do they have? Just a couple out of conference that I think are winnable.
Well, they're in the Big Ten West, which
Yeah.
is always wide open, right?
Right.
So you're going to play Purdue. You're going to play Northwestern. You're going to play. I think they.
I'm
play
not
Michigan
sure.
State.
I'm not sure what to think of Minnesota.
Yeah, I
this
just
year
pulled up
either.
the schedule.
I mean, I'm not asking for them to go, bowling. Just
Yeah, you're
win
asking
4 or
for
5
4
games.
wins. Yeah.
Their out of conference is pretty weak. Like they have UTSA, which actually was a pretty
It was
good,
pretty good.
last year. They have Charlotte at home, and they play at Iowa. They got Northwestern, Minnesota, Rutgers, Penn State, which is at Penn
I mean, they're
State.
all flips. Some of those
Wisconsin.
are flips.
You know a team I love that's not getting a lot of love. Everybody thinks, and this is not the team, but everybody thinks Florida's just going to keep being good because Dan Mullen's there or whatever. But they got a lot of problems. Their defense isn't good. Their recruiting just isn't where it needs to be. I love Kentucky. You look at like end of October. If you were to look up and there was one team that would surprise you and be 7-0 or 6-1, it's Kentucky. Kentucky has an easy path into the season. I think they play Missouri at home early, but otherwise they play a lot of bad teams. And they get Florida and LSU back-to-back, week 5 and week 6 at home. Kentucky is sneaky physical. They got one of the best offensive lines in the country, a very good defensive line. They will get after you. If the Penn State transfer quarterback or Gatewood is any count at quarterback, Kentucky can beat Florida at home. They can beat LSU at home and be sitting there like 7-0 going into Georgia.
The one thing on them, they made a really interesting offensive coordinator hire, pulling the Rams assistant because Eddie Graham.
They were so bad at
it's
offensive
just
coordinator.
Awful. And Terry Wilson's not playing quarterback anymore. He's in New Mexico. And so if the OC gets that offense rolling, the defense is physical. It's very possible.
You also have we haven't talked about it, but the your Philly guy, the Mets and Phillies this weekend. Just going to tell you, behind the scenes at Barstool, Frank has been on one. I mean, on one. You know, when you get here, like I'll be sitting at my desk because I get here before everybody. I leave after everybody because I work hard. I made part of that up.
B90X.
I get here at 4:30 in the morning. I leave at 11 o'clock at night. Anyway, Frank walks in, and he is just yelling the second he gets off the elevator. So that's what kind of day it is around here. Yeah, Mets, Phillies.
No one can, because the whole time that he'd been freaking out, everyone just kind of say, Frank, first place. Not in first place.
He's going to be right.
They're not in first anymore.
Wait, are you not a Phillies? Are you not a Phillies fan?
I enjoy the Phillies.
What are you a fan of?
Eagles,
when
right?
I'm a diehard Eagle. I love the Sixers. I haven't loved the organization the last couple of years. When I grew up, though, I went to a lot of Yankee games, but
You're a Yankees fan.
yeah.
We needed a Yankees fan on the
but
show.
I'm not. Baseball's not huge to me. I don't.
It is so. Gambling in August is just
It's so
trying
tough.
to get to the fucking.
It's all about looking at the future. I like what you're doing. It's just look at
so
the
many
future props.
futures.
Yeah, future
And that's what
props.
I'm doing. I'm looking at like Kansas over 1.5
brought all the Buffalo guys with them.
Isn't that an electric bet to have?
Yes, and I tell you, I think it's got a really decent shot. I think they'll win right out of it. They'll beat South Dakota, and then they're flipped. Duke's bad.
Duke's
Duke's
terrible.
horrible. Duke is.
I think Texas Tech's. I don't love them. I don't love Baylor. I think, and Brandon, Ben, Ev, how many games every year we see Kansas in a complete scrap in a game they shouldn't be in?
I think it was with Texas Tech last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Usually
It
it's
was.
against TCU. They give TCU big problems.
Once they win game one, I'm just for you. I need one win.
I like the coaching
You know?
hire.
Yeah, and Leopold.
Lance
sure.
Leipold
Yeah, Leipold,
is
and when he brought
fantastic.
people from Buffalo too,
Yep.
because they had the Les Miles thing. I mean, boy, talk about how people used to look up to Miles, man. Talk about a fall.
Yeah, you talk about Dunzo. That guy is a Dunzo. Well, you know what? We're talking good sports. This is fun. This is enjoyable. What an enjoyable foursome. Just to talk, just no drama, just talking sports,
Yeah, this has been terrific.
enjoying each other's company. Hey, I don't call the plays around here, Jeff. But if if the play caller decides you're coming back, then you're coming back. We'll figure it out.
I hope to.
I
I
don't-
hope to see you guys again and do this again.
But again, I don't call the plays around here. I just execute. I'm just a
like today,
Team player,
like
Brandon
today,
Walker.
you just
just
follow
like
the
a
rules.
I'm just like a bad quarterback on a bad MAC team that just happens. I get the team to the end of the season. I'm probably not taking us to a bowl, but I'm not going to throw picks every play either.
Can I throw college basketball out?
Shit, what are you going to throw? Yeah,
I'm going to keep
It's your day.
hammering the nail. Texas, Texas, Texas. Get it in. They got the best coach in the country.
Yep.
This team is a top 5 roster.
You agree with that too? Chris Beard is the best coach in the country.
100%.
Yeah.
It's Tony Bennett, Few, and him. They're kind of right
What
there.
about Jay Wright?
No, he's behind. He's in there too. He's top 5.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, those are the absolutely elite basketball minds. But Marcus Carr is probably the best scoring guard in the country. It's that simple. Getting him to not only – the NIL was big for getting him to stay. He was going to go to Australia, ended up staying. Trey Mitchell is the best big you haven't heard of. Could have went to the NBA.
UMass.
Yeah, it was
Monster.
just terrific
Monster.
player at UMass. I think he's going to do really well there. They went out and really hit it hard with the transfers outside of that. They're so deep at guard. They're really so deep at every position. And I know people will fucking rag on me because I said they'd win the title last year and they lost in the first round to Abilene Christian. But – they got another chance, another lease on life. Very good.
but they also
They won the Big 12 tournament.
but they also upgraded tremendously at coach.
Yes, they did.
Like if
he left Lubbock to do it.
If you walk into March and your coach is Chris Beard, you have a puncher's chance, and he's going to do it with. I assume he'll have the best roster he's ever had.
They had to make, and on both football and basketball, they have made such terrible hires. This is the best hire they've made.
Are you guys sold that
Ever.
Sark is a great hire in
I
football?
like him way more than you do. I like the staff too. I think this year's going to be.
I think he's a better.
I think it's a question mark.
Yeah.
I think they've hired a guy who's 45-37 in his career as a head coach. They hired a guy who, based off his production with the most elite talent, the most elite offensive weapons in the country. Yeah, he put up huge numbers at Alabama. A lot of people could do that, and I don't know to navigate Texas through what he's about to navigate them through. I mean, the Big 12 is going to be.
Well, that's what it is. The standards are just delusionally high.
You're right.
That if he comes out of here and goes like 8-4, people are going to be like, "What the fuck?" Where it's like, what? It's kind of like there's no.
I hate.
It's just he's in such a bad sport. It's like if you're not in national title picture in like 2-3 years,
He's going to have to get him tougher.
They're going to be looking at him like, "What the
They got to
fuck?"
get a hell of a lot
And that's
tougher at
such
the
a-
line of scrimmage.
That's
They're
such
soft.
a tough place to go in just 2 years when you've been a mediocre program.
One of my favorite things to do is attack diluted fan bases, and
I love it too.
They may have the most diluted fan base on planet Earth.
Them, Auburn, and Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee jumps to the front.
And Michigan is quite diluted.
Michigan, I think they're beaten
Notre
down right
Dame.
now. I think Michigan is.
Well, they've had the basketball program, which
They're a
has done
sleepy
well.
fan base right now.
Yeah.
Michigan. Oh, okay. Well, Jeff, I don't know what I thought the show was going to be. I want to congratulate you and commend you. I thought this was really good.
Absolutely,
I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me and let me speak my mind.
And you guys, Big Evan, and you guys, everybody's
Oh,
all
yeah.
good, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
Feel the kumbaya a little bit here.
All right. The dick sucking can commence. Aspect Central, the Yak is up next.